Assalamu alaykum, everyone. I pray you are all doing well. A lot of you ask me about books that I may recommend for someone beginning in the Sufi path, and I usually hesitate to answer. Not because I don't have books I love. As you can see, all the quotes I post on my Instagram account are usually from books I have read and that I love and that I revisit. So it's not because I don't have books I love, but it's because this path isn't really about books. And what I'm trying to explain to you when you ask me this is that each of our journeys is very unique. And any book I may recommend may actually not help you for different reasons. Let me give you an example. When tell you that I began this path reading books by Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani or The Alchemy of Happiness by Al Ghazali, some of you have told me that if I can recommend something more for beginners, you tell me that those books are a bit heavy for you, that they seem a bit too advanced for you. And that's natural. This is because all of us have different ways of learning, different ways of processing information. For example, for me, maybe those books seem easy because I'm more academically oriented. And not only that, but Allah knew I needed those books for that particular time in my life. So instead of recommending books to you, I prefer to show you how to ask Allah to guide you towards the books you need for your very specific soul needs and soul wounds. Now, there's another reason as to why I don't recommend books really, and that is because I want us all to continue trying to ponder on the reality that this path is about the heart. This path is about deconstructing our fears and deconstructing the identity we believe we have. For example, a lot of us believe that our identity is being a student or being a mother, being a father, uh, or not being one. Like it depends, right? We might think our identity is being an engineer, being a doctor, being a teacher. And the Sufi path tries to deconstruct all of those ideas so we can actually address the heart and address the wounds of our soul. We don't enter this path through the mind, brothers and sisters. This path is entered through the heart, and more in particular, when the heart breaks open. And that's why I'm saying that this path usually starts with pain. Yes, often through loss, often through having gone through trauma and being at a point where we can no longer live the way we have been living. Or it could be that maybe your childhood wasn't that bad, but maybe you're experiencing a situation that really woke you up to understanding things that you didn't know before. But overall, this path calls people that have been through a lot of pain and they need to remember that there's a way out, that there's healing, and that they can remember who they are so they can live from tranquility, from peace, not from pain. So, this path, brothers and sisters, is when we tell Allah, Ya Allah, I'm lost. Do whatever you want with me, but please remove this suffering and pain I'm carrying. And we have, for example, Most of the poetry by Maulana Rumi revolves around this concept of returning from pain and the wounds of our soul. We I think most of us have heard the bit where he says the wound is a place where the light enters you. And this particular line really refers back to this dua I was saying, that we may subconsciously call on Allah once we reach a point of rock bottom, where we hit the lowest point we can probably hit, and we don't want to resist anymore. The problem is a lot of people don't want to say this dua or this call for help from Allah, because as soon as they sincerely say, Allah, please do whatever you want with me, as long as a person keeps resisting saying this, it's because the ego feels terrified. The ego will feel terrified as soon as we call on Allah to take over. Because most of us, brothers and sisters, live as the ego is taking over us. Okay? So most of us spend and have spent most of our lives living from the ego. And as I touched upon in my last video, living from the ego is living in resistance to surrender. So the ego doesn't get along with this intention of ours to say, Allah, please do whatever you want with me. Use me as your instrument, use me as anything you want. Just show me the path, just tell me what I have to do and I'll do it. The ego doesn't want this, brothers and sisters, and this path is about that. And the ego is afraid because when we say this, when we call Allah saying this, that means we need to trust the unknown. That means most of our soul wounds are getting activated because there is so much fear of doing things differently. There's so much fear of being rejected by our family or our community, because everyone is living from the ego primarily. So for a person to do or to take this path seriously, it would require to question things, to do things differently in order to return to Allah and purify our hearts. It doesn't have to be a dramatic and sudden change, but it is a life where we understand, okay, I can no longer allow myself to live in delusions or to live pretending to be someone I'm not. So we usually enter this path when we are at this point, when we really don't want to continue living the way we have been living. And for that, our suffering and our pain needs to be stronger than the fear we carry about transforming our lives for the better. We are afraid because we believe our fears will take over us, but actually, fear is part of our initiation in this path. Fear is our teacher, brothers and sisters, and this path is like a school. It's a school for the soul. Every experience you face is your school. Any person you believe triggers you, disrespects you, abuses you, they are your school. And just like any school, Allah will never give you a test that's beyond our level. And we know this from Quran, right? But just imagine, just like a child that is in first grade, they won't be given an exam that is university level, right? So it's just like that. As we go along, we will never be asked to do things that go beyond our current capacity. But I notice the problem with a lot of us is to believe that, oh, no, 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 this test is too big for me, or no, 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 this change I have to do is too big for me. I'm terrified, I cannot do it. And a lot of us, unfortunately, stay stuck in that state for so long. Some people years stay in that bridge of, should I jump, should I not jump, and they just stay on the edge and they don't want to jump because the reality is that we're scared to trust Allah. Again, because it's a jump into the unknown, it's a jump into not knowing what's coming next. And that's part of the control that the ego keeps wanting to have. So we need to start asking different questions. So I invite you that, for example, instead of asking yourself, what book should I read? Maybe ask, what is Allah showing me right now through this experience? Because this path, brothers and sisters, is about being present. It's about understanding why are we doing what we're doing. You know, sometimes the lessons, and in fact, in this path, most of the lessons will not be in books. Books help, of course, they help, and they help me greatly. But what I want you to get from this is that if you ask Allah, okay, Allah, what am I supposed to understand from these tears I'm shedding, or from these triggers, from the silence, from the ache in my heart? What am I supposed to understand? Please help me understand and help me do what I need to do. This is the path of emotional truth. It's the path of sitting with the parts of ourselves that we have been running from for so long. It really, it's not about doing more dhikr, and by more dhikr, of course, I mean mindless dhikr. The dhikr where we just sit and repeat something, but we're not there. We're not present. That's not the Sufi path, brothers and sisters. This is the path of being aware and conscious to the best of our ability. So it's about being honest. It's about asking ourselves and facing the truth. Okay, when am I reciting Quran? When am I sitting down and doing this dhikr? Am I present? Am I actually here? Or why am I just repeating this for? It's asking ourselves those questions so we can get to the truth. This way, when we do this, the books you need will arrive by the will of Allah. Allah will put on your way the books that you need to read that are tailored for your particular stage of your journey. But remember, it's not the book that guides you, it's your readiness to hear what it has to say. I pray we can all embrace the truth of ourselves. And if you are new to this path or you believe you're a beginner, all you need to know is that your path is divinely orchestrated, divinely guided. This path is about trusting. And Allah will continue to guide you and put the clues and put the books and put the information you need. Thank you so much for listening. May Allah bless you.